Yolo County doesn't just have a corruption problem. Yolo County is corruption. Today I'm breaking down 21 officials, past and present, whose actions, decisions, or failures have built and protected a system that harms families, covers up the truth, and destroys public trust. Some of these officials are connected to the deadly Yolo County explosion. Others have retired or moved on, but their influence and damage remain. Each one is a piece of a system that's allowed corruption to thrive here for years. I'm Marissa Barrera. My brother's death at the hands of local police started my fight for justice. But what I found goes far beyond one case. As you watch, remember, if the officials in charge only protect themselves, who's left to protect us? Law enforcement not only knew about the facility and did nothing about it, they were a part of it. We will start with the Kopp family at the center of the Yolo County Sheriff's deadliest abuse of power, the Machados and the Matsumuras. Sam Machado, not just any deputy. Machado is a high-ranking lieutenant in the Yolo County Sheriff's Office with more than 2 decades of service, but his reach goes further. Property owner and resident of the explosion site. The property where the illegal fireworks operation exploded wasn't just some random address. It was owned and lived on by Machado and his family, directly benefited from the operation. Sam Machado has also held leadership positions at the Madison Fire Protection District, also in Yolo County, and that was alongside none other than current Yolo County Sheriff Tom Lopez. These ties between law enforcement and fire services raise major questions about who was really overseeing safety and who was covering for who. Machado's dates of employment are from April 1st, 2002 to the present, currently on administrative leave as of July 10th while the investigation is pending. This illegal operation is alleged to have been a multi-million-dollar operation. What we do know is the pay that Samuel Machado has been receiving as a lieutenant. According to Transparent California, he brought in over $317,000 for his total pay and benefits. And according to public records, his Sam's gun sale business brought in $140,000, again connected directly to his home. Word is that he was manufacturing and selling them, while public record at least shows us that he was doing it right from his home. In fact, after the initial explosion, a call came from the sheriff's department warning dispatch to warn firefighters to step back because there was a ton of ammo in the home. And according to department policy, employees must get approval from the sheriff if they are making money outside of the department. So what does this tell us? That Sheriff Tom Lopez absolutely knew about this operation. Machado is also named in multiple lawsuits, 2 of which are currently active, with the most recent one being filed by Etta James Farming LLC in regard to the Yolo County explosion. In another lawsuit filed in 2023 naming Sam and other Yolo County deputies in a serious case of misconduct, and then leaving with a gun collection worth $150,000, including 34 firearms and 20,000 rounds of ammunition. The irony, the Machado's own property was packed with illegal fireworks, guns, and ammo, enough to fuel a disaster. Meanwhile, he was already accused of seizing an even bigger stockpile from someone else. Number 2, Sam's wife, Tammy Machado. And I'm sorry I do not have a photo of her. It seems folks have been pretty quiet about Tammy. She is a supervising legal secretary in the civil division of the sheriff's office. She's drawn a county paycheck for over 2 decades. Both are still employed by the department and on paid administrative leave until the investigation completes. The property ownership and trust are in both of their names, as you can see with this document I obtained directly from the county. People from the area know as well that the property was owned by her father before. This property has been with the family for generations. Now let's go on to official number 3, Reiko Matsumura. Reiko is Tammy's sister and the sister-in-law to Sam Machado. She is also a deputy with the sheriff's department, totaling in 3 family members directly connected. They owned the property directly next to the Machados, the explosion site. County records I obtained confirm her own property was also burned in the fire. Despite being named a public safety hero, Reiko has a long, well-known history of violent behavior and aggression, both on and off duty. We've received multiple tips about her starting fights, abusing her badge. She's notorious for giving family members free passes, covering up things from traffic violations to abuse and even stalking. The full complaint can be found online. However, what I gathered from reading it, the deputies pulled up to their property, asked for a family member. That family member was not there. They did not have a warrant. They didn't like the family asking questions. They beat them up. 2 of them were arrested after getting beat up. So apparently there was a language barrier. She had asked one of the ladies to put out her cigarettes. The lady didn't understand. She then decided to brutalize her and beat her up. She ends up patting her down, putting her in a wrist lock, and forcing her down, using a knee to force her down to the ground. Reiko then used her taser in drive stun mode as the woman laid on the ground. Public safety hero, though, hey? Now, before we go into number 4, let's start off by quoting Sheriff Tom Lopez. I've known Reiko a very long time and actually coached her in Little League. So this tells us not only do they have a professional relationship, the entire family, with Tom Lopez, but there's an ongoing, long-term personal relationship as well. Number 4, Sheriff Tom Lopez. After the deadly explosion, he stayed silent, leaving a grieving community with no answers. When he finally spoke, he had nothing really to say about the deputies at the center of it. Instead, just that they were put on leave, paid leave. No accountability, no leadership. In case anybody is still wondering if Tom Lopez knew about this operation, let's hear from former Deputy James Mount. This was a response from one of my comments to the sheriff.
I worked there 15 years. It is a policy for any employee making money outside of employment to have written permission from the sheriff himself. Curious if Lieutenant had permission? The sheriff absolutely knew about this. All the deputies did because they told us to stay away from the property. The administration tried to crucify me for having my own heavy equipment business. I was asked to do jobs for them during my employment, but just don't piss off the wrong person. They all turn on you.
And I must point out, Tom Lopez is a loud and proud Freemason. Number 5, ex-Sheriff Ed Prieto. He ran the Yolo County Sheriff's Department for years and set the tone for the Wild West culture. Under Prieto, the department was called out by the grand jury for corruption, cover-ups, favoritism, and intimidation, harassment, nepotism, and silencing anyone who spoke up. He faced multiple allegations of sexual harassment, including a lawsuit that led to a $98,000 settlement by one of his former deputies, but only after the victim was gagged by a court order. He was also the one who conducted the so-called investigation into my brother's murder by city police, ensuring there would be no real accountability. In short, he set the standard for protecting the department and himself. And when his reputation was on the line, it was local leaders like Skip Davies who stepped in to defend him. Number 6, Skip Davies, former mayor of the city of Woodland. He isn't just a politician. He's got deep ties across Yolo County, serving in different leadership roles for years, and that's why I included him on here. And that's also why it's so troubling that after the grand jury exposed corruption in the sheriff's department, he was brought in to lead the so-called review. And this is where it gets even sicker and shows that Davies' history is just as troubling. In 2010, while serving as the mayor, he used his position and official city letterhead to publicly defend Brett Pedroia, a convicted child molester, a monster, an admitted child molester, and he was also the brother of MLB star Dustin Pedroia. He was asking to give leniency to this monster for his sentencing. And guess what? It worked. So yes, this politician is getting thrown into the list because when you look at the connections and the cover-ups, he absolutely deserves to be here.